Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Really nice day today in the markets. So let's review on the stock. Today we're going to talk about in terms of how to use different indicators to try to see um, whether is there a potential for the stock to go up or not, right? So we're going to use a couple of averages. One is the regular moving averages. Then we're looking at the RSI indicators. So stock we're looking at is AWSM, right? I'm not really sure what it does, but it came up on one of my scanners, and I was trying to find opportunities for it to go long or go short, depending how it's being set up, right? I mean, what we see on here, I mean, this is a daily chart we are looking at, so it had this move up, and then we had a sideways consolidation and went up yesterday. So I was watching this stock yesterday, right? If you look on the hourly chart over here, I mean, yesterday it had this up move, and then it went sideways, right? I mean, there was really no, I mean, there is an opportunity for you to buy it um, just before close yesterday and see for it to go. Instead, I opted for, you know what, let's see how it's going to set up today, right? I mean, that's what I really want to take a look at it to see if this stock has any potential for me to actually do anything about it. Let me just zoom this thing up, make life a lot easier. Right. Okay, so what we are looking at over here, we're looking at a VWAP. Then we have the RSI indicator over here of the 14 moving average. So right off the bat, what we see on here is at 9:30 when the market starts, we see this up move, right? Now, generally, if the market has been up for so much, I mean, it's generally supposed to roll over, right? So what we see on here, uh, we saw the stock make this move from 11 bucks all the way to 14 bucks. So that's a $3 move, right? Let me just remove all these trend lines. So here's what it is. The stock made this $3 up move, and then it went sideways. Right now it's going sideways. Now the question really is, once the stock is moving sideways, why don't we just go buy it at 1350 and try to make some gains out of it? Can you do it? 100% you can do it. What we are taking a look at is on this RSI we're using for divergence purposes, right? Which means the RSI is showing you momentum. So on the price, you see price acceleration, but on the momentum, you're actually seeing a price deceleration, right? So price increasing with decreasing momentum. So it's not really, could you have bought it here and made some profits on it? Sure, you could. I mean, you bought it if you were able to get a 1350 or something, it's a dollar, but that's not really the big move, right? That's not the big move you're looking at. You're trying to find these. We're looking at this 5 minute chart at the opening hour, so you want to take a look at 5 minute charts. So you see this after the break of this. This is on a break on a low on a lower high on the RSI, so it means it's a divergence on here. Chances of it going up is pretty low. I mean, it can go. Can it go? It definitely can go, but you know what? The chance is lower. So what I did, I waited for it. Now, once it's past 10:30 or so, I try to find it on a 15-minute chart. I try to time my entries a bit better. So here's what I was seeing on the 15-minute chart, right? Uh, So if you look at the 15-minute chart, you see a longer time frame where you see the stock moving from 11 bucks to 15 bucks, and now you see the sideways movement, right? When you see the sideways movement, what you are seeing on here, if you look at this $15 level mark, you're not seeing fading momentum on the higher time frames, right? If you look on the 5-minute chart, before during this time frame, you were seeing a fading momentum, right? The momentum is fading out. But on the higher time frame, if you that's why trading multiple time frames is pretty important. If you see on the higher time frame, this is the upward momentum, right? Let me remove this. On the RSI, you are seeing a upward momentum as well, right? So which means if the stock were to break the highs, there's a higher chance of this stock to actually move, right? So not only do you have the fact that there is a volume uptick, you see a rise in momentum, right? Remove this. You see a rise in momentum, right? Rise in momentum, rise in volume. There's a break, there's a higher probability. Now you have a lot of probability going on, right? You have the stock which is up, which is going sideways, and now you have the volume and the RSI rising. So that's when I actually got into the trade. So if you look at my trades, I got in at 1489, 350 shares, and once it started closing up near the 16s something, I started to So I took 150 out at 1565, the next sum at 1599, 1620, and 1642. So really nice trade. So I was in the trade for what, about not even 5 minutes. So in less than 5 minutes, I was up some decent amount of money for 460 bucks. So pretty decent day overall, right? So that's how you can try to find what's going on with the stock. Is that's any potential for it to actually go up. Now, if you're trying to trade this right now after the first move over here, and now you say, hey, you know what? Can I go and hit it over here? This one becomes a lot trickier, right? I mean, this is the first move, right? Move all like this. So what you're looking at, this is the first move. You have a sideways action. This is the second move. There's a sideways action. Right. Move this back. So I was playing the second move, right? So this is the second move that I did. Right. Let me remove this. And then this is the move that I played. Now this one is more of a third move, right? Now this third move, as I mentioned, this is not a perfect indicator, but it's a good idea to see where it is. I mean, over here, you didn't have any rising RSI, but the momentum was there after the break of this, right? So that's what you really see. Even after it broke this, it actually went up. After it broke 17 or so, it went up to 2250. Now, if you look on the 5-minute chart, you will see the break of 17 was not clean at all, right? You're looking at the time when the first move, the second move, the third move, this is not going to be a clean. This is going to be a very hard trade to get in. I mean, even if you try to get in at, say, $16, $17, I mean, you see this pullback down to 16, right? So this becomes a really, really wild move. And sure, wild moves can really go, but this is really going to be a lot of heartburn. If you look at the trade that I took over here, about 14 or so, it had this nice up move, and that's pretty much it, right? That's what you try to capture over here. It had this pullback. I don't really get involved over here, but this move is going to be, it's generally is going to be a bigger move, but in terms of the movement is not going to be that smooth, right? You see a smoother move over here, and now you see a lot of gyrations over here. It becomes a lot harder. There was a move in here. There's not I'm not saying there's no move, but it becomes a bit of a harder trade for you to hold, right? So if you have any questions, or if you'd like more training on day trading, send me an email. My email is swatchlist@gmail.com. Any questions, feel free to like my YouTube channel, or give me a shout on Twitter or Instagram. Have a good one.